Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be doing some upcycling. So beside me I have my giant collection of thrifted items that need something done with them. So basically, backstory here. I have a bad habit of just kind of going through a thrift store and finding fabric that I like rather than finding garments that I like, which can be good. You know, I can have like some good situations happen where I end up making something really cool out of it that I like a lot and like, woo, good to go. However, I tend to like get them, stuff them back in my giant mess of shelves here, and then forget they exist. So for this video, I dug through all of that and pulled out everything that I have ever purchased with the intention of making something better out of it or slightly altering it to make it fit better. And I have it in a giant pile right beside me here. If you'll take a look at that. Ooh, it's on top of my ironing board here, but it is quite a hefty load of garments. Those are all garments. It's not fabric. Those are garments. So we're going to be tackling those today. And I'd really like to kind of show you some both easy and maybe a little bit more complicated ways of altering garments or making them completely different things that you can do with thrifted items, because I think thrifting is a great way to go instead of buying your clothes new. So here we go. I'm not gonna be doing this whole pile today or in this video. I'm just gonna get through as many as I can. I'm gonna try and get the pile down to a manageable amount. So we'll see how many I get through. It's kind of a daunting pile here. I might have a problem. So for my first project, I'm just starting with this pair of shorts that I need to hem because they're too long. You can see actually a long time ago I chopped the bottoms of them off and I just haven't hemmed them. So I'm going to be working on that. I need to trim a little bit more off because they're still like a weirdly long length. But then I will just hem them up. If you've never done that before, basically all you do is pin where you want them to be on you. So I'm kind of showing you right there. That's about how short I'm going to be making mine. And then you flip them inside out and make sure that you have the fabric turned inside so that the raw edge is hidden, and you sew it there. And once you've got it done, you should have a final product, and here is mine. It is such a more comfortable length. I kind of like my shorts a little longer anyways, so these are perfect for me. And in my pile, I actually had a second pair of shorts that also need shortened. It's these blue ones. They're a really nice, soft, flowy material, but again, they're like a weirdly long length. So here they are, shortened. I did the exact same thing. They're almost the exact same length, but so easy, and it fits so much nicer. For my next piece, I've got another bottom. It's this skirt, and I love the color. It's a really nice fabric, but it's got like some weird things. That belt on the front there, it doesn't go all the way around to the back. It's too big around the waist. And if you look at the bottom, it's like not an even hemline. See how that top piece is like longer at the bottom? I don't know why, but it's weird. So I need to fix it. So this used to be like the scariest part of upcycling for me, when you literally just had to chop into a garment, but you know what? Just go for it. So since this belt's just attached at the sides, I'm literally just gonna chop the skirt down the sides, and then I'll use those seams as a way to take in the waist to make that fit better. So kind of killing two birds with one stone. And at the bottom, I'm just laying it out, and I'm trimming enough of the excess fabric off that I have enough to hem it, but it's not so much there that it's going to be bulky in the front. Just make sure you leave enough that once you hem it, it'll still match up with that other piece, because that is the goal. Hello, it's the next day. I got tired last night. So today I kind of want to start out doing some more challenging things. So the things that I've showed you pretty much up to this point are kind of just basic like hemming techniques, or taking things in, kind of using their existing seams. I have a few other things that are definitely going to be a little bit more difficult, that wouldn't be quite as beginner friendly. So if you're new to sewing, I wouldn't recommend doing like a very difficult upcycle for the first thing that you're trying. I would probably recommend one of the first things that I showed you. I'm gonna be doing some more challenging things today, and we're gonna see how that goes. I have like a number of things that are kind of like a challenging upcycle, so we'll just see how many I get through for this video. I don't expect to get through this whole pile because it's pretty substantial. So this shirt I really like. It's very cute. It's a very cute fabric. You can see it's like kind of sparkly and textured. Focus. There. It's got this cool like kind of bumpy texture to it, and it's sparkly, and it's all sorts of different shades of pinks and purples and orange. So I really like the fabric, but it's got like a weird, oh gosh. It's got like a weird length of sleeve. This like mid-length sleeve I always associate with like someone who's middle-aged. And then it's also kind of baggy around the middle. It's like kind of too long. You can't even see how long it is. And it's also got this area that it's all fuzzy and like, I don't know, looks like I got caught in the dryer or something, I don't know. But, so I'd like to kind of just chop that off. I want to crop it a little bit, and I'd also like to make it a little bit more fitted and short sleeve. So, hello, it's the next day again. I got a little frustrated with this shirt. I don't have a lot of experience with like stretchy knit fabrics, so I was finding it a little challenging, but I have improved. This was the first sleeve I tried to hem. It's all like wobbly looking. And this is the second sleeve I hemmed. So like much less wobbly looking. So I did kind of figure out some like tips and tricks for how to do this. I might have had to pull out my instruction manual for my sewing machine to figure out how to sew knit fabrics a little bit better, but improvement. So let me show you some of my tips that I figured out. So I would say first and foremost, the biggest thing that's going to help you is just kind of how you like position the fabric. So I have a tendency to kind of stretch it out, so I like to just have it where I know that I want it to go, and then it kind of pulls as it goes in. But what I learned is that you want to almost like force the fabric through faster than it's supposed to be going. So for instance, like as we're going, I'm kind of like almost like pushing it under there, because the less stretch that you have while you're sewing, the smoother it's gonna lay. Also, you want to use some sort of zigzag stitch. If you just do a straight stitch, it's gonna have no stretch to it unless you rip the stitch. So some sort of zigzag stitch, your machine might have like a specialty one that's made for knit fabrics, and if not, just like a basic zigzag is gonna be a lot better than a straight stitch, because it allows your fabric to still stretch. And once I finished that hem, I was also using my serger to finish the seams because it allows it to still stretch, sort of like a zigzag stitch. Especially since I didn't really know what I was doing along the side seams here, I did put like a straight stitch in. So I'm going to be ripping that out because it makes it a lot less stretchy. But I've got like my serger along the edge here, which again, if you don't have a serger, you can just use like a zigzag stitch. I would probably go over it like a couple times just to make sure it's secure. But the serger seam should hold it together pretty well. I might even put a zigzag stitch over it though, just to make sure, because I really don't want my side seams like splitting open. So here is the finished knit top. It's fitted, it's comfy, it's stretchy, exactly what I wanted. I've got that shorter sleeve so I look not like I'm 40 years old, and I'm super happy with it. Well, I had a decent amount of leftover fabric, and I was thinking to myself, who also really loves pink and fits well in really stretchy fabrics? Well, that is my good friend Barbie. I made a Barbie dress out of my scraps. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of this. I feel like it just really fits her vibe. Like, oh my goodness, she's so cute. And now we match. So that was my little side project. I just thought I'd share. All right, on to the next upcycle. So this shirt I also bought just because I think the fabric's really cute. It's actually a small, and I usually wear a medium, so I think it's kind of like a spacious small, but I just won't wear this style. It's kind of tight all like on my arms. So what I want to do for this one is I'm going to shorten it a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit off the bottom and I'm going to entirely chop the top off. And it's going to still be a button down. I'm going to leave the buttons on it so I can get it on and off pretty easily. But I'm going to use the fabric that I chop off to make it be a little like tank top with, I'd like to do tie sleeves if I have enough fabric. We'll see from what I take off the bottom and the top if I have enough. But overall it like fits pretty well. I'm not into these sleeves and like the collar. I'd rather have a tank top. But this fabric's like so cute. I love the little orange and yellow flowers. So summery. And on to the next one. We have this shirt, beautiful fabric, weird length sleeves, way too big. What are we gonna do with it? So for this shirt, I had to use my mannequin to put darts into it, and it kind of took forever, but I did that and shortened the sleeves, and here is what I came up with. I really like how this turned out. I think it has such a nice shape to it, and I really like how well fitted it is for me. I also took in the hem a little bit so that it's a little bit more tapered towards the front and the back, and I just think this is such a nice fit, and it's actually super comfy. Okay, so I just finished my 5th item, and they're going well, but I do feel like this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to finish it off doing one more kind of larger and a little bit more challenging item. It is a dress. It's one I got at a thrift store. It's this gorgeous kind of like Hawaiian print fabric. It's 100% cotton, super nice and fun and bright and good for summer, but it's kind of hideous. So let me show you. Now the skirt portion of this, no problem. It's just the gorgeous fabric. But the top, oh my goodness, what is this? It goes all the way to, what is this bib? Who did this? Who did this? So this has got to go. And also, I don't know how we can tell, but it's got this like dropped waistline. This is like where the waistline hits. I'm sorry, that flatters no one. So here's my plan. So basically what the plan is I'm going to be making roughly this design. I'm going to be reusing the skirt entirely, just moving it up to where it sits kind of at my natural waist a little bit more, turning the bodice into a fitted strapless bodice. I'm basically going to have to chop the whole thing up into smaller pieces, and then I'm actually going to try and reuse the weird collar bib looking thing because it is like a good amount of fabric and it's got like a really nice edge of the dress fabric on it. So that portion around the top that you can see that is like colored in is where I'm gonna actually like reattach it to create kind of like a contrast at the top, and then it'll kind of just stick out a little bit, hopefully create like a small like ruffle detail sort of, but that is the plan for this, so we need to get it started. So pretty much the first step for this was chopping everything up into separate pieces and then measuring out the shapes of the pieces that I need and cutting those out. I also don't have enough lining for this, and I definitely need to line it, so I'm actually reusing some fabric from an earlier video where I made the patchwork dress. I had some pink linen fabric left over that you can probably see me using, and that is from a shirt that I chopped up in an earlier video, so I'm using some of my scraps. Super proud of myself. So I was trying to make this dress with, I'm trying to make all this stuff with just materials that I have, but I'm putting a little bit of boning in it because I want it to be a little bit stiffer since it's not going to have straps, and I was going a little fast and my needle, you can't see the tiny little piece, my needle just snapped off. I hit the boning. So one needle broken. So my husband installed these smart light bulbs in a lot of our overhead lights, and he was like super excited about it. You can control all of them using Alexa, and I guess, I don't know if he set like a bedtime or like a sleep timer for them, but I'm like kind of working late into the night. He's in bed, and my office light just turned off, and I literally cannot get it turned back on. So I guess I'm gonna be working by the light of my like ring light. I kind of hate technology. It's fine. Also have a nice little light here on my sewing machine, so that will help, but I'm getting there. I didn't quite get it done last night. I know I look rough. I was so tired. I was like, I know when I get this tired, I'm like due for a mistake. So I decided it was time for me to go to bed. But I'm like just about where I need to be. So I had to alter my initial plans a little bit because I didn't have as much fabric as I needed. Like, I'm still not quite done, and I have like scraps left. So instead of having it just like zip up the back like a normal strapless dress, I put some loops on it, and I'm gonna make it tie in the back. So all I have left to do is, I have this side of loops done, but I don't have this side done, so I need to do that. And then from there on out, I really just have to attach the skirt. I'm gonna put some elastic in it, and I gotta make the ties to go through these loops, and then I should be done. So, woot. I'm almost done. I'm getting this done today. I did not think it was going to take me long to get this done because I didn't have a lot left. But since I'm having it laced up in the back, I have to make this like tie. And I made it out of the pink like linen lining. And linen just does not slide through easily. It took me so long to turn this inside out. Oh my gosh. But I've got it done, and I'm almost done. This is probably what I was dreading the most, because it's very long, because it's gonna lace up almost like a shoelace, but I got it done. Oh my gosh, this dress has taken so much longer than I thought it would, but I'm finally done, and I'm gonna try it on. Basically what happened was I got done with it, and I didn't really like it, and I was like, no, I spent too much time on this to not like it. So I did some alterations. I added some extra fabric. I know I try not to do that when I'm doing like an upcycling, because I try to just stick with what the original garment had. That way, if that's all you have, you can do something like that too. But I had this like remnant of fabric that I had bought from Joann Fabrics forever ago. This just this like white mesh, and I added it to the skirt in these like little inserts, I guess. Because the skirt was like super rectangular. Like, it was the exact same width at the bottom as it was at the top. You know, usually like a nice flowy skirt, and what I like to wear is a very triangular shape, that it gets nice and wide at the bottom, so it's so flowy and fun when you wear it. And this was just like a rectangle, and I felt like it was so not flattering. You know, I like these kind of dresses because they're like fitted at the waist, and then they go out in a triangle, so like accentuates the hourglass shape, and I was just not getting that. So I went back and like chopped a bunch of slits into the skirt and added this fabric in, and so just with every step, it has taken me longer and longer to get this done, but I'm finally finished, and here it is. Okay, are you ready for this? Because oh my gosh, it turned out so much better than I even thought it would. Like, oh, I love it. So when I reused the collar around the top, I did it shorter than I initially planned to because I didn't want it to be the focal point of the dress, but it still has kind of that height to it that I wanted initially, and I do really like how it looks and how it sits. And in the back, obviously I had to do laces instead of a regular zip up like I had already mentioned, and that was a little challenging. I've never really done that before, but I do really like how it turned out. And finally, obviously, I had to do the inserts in the bottom because the skirt was just like so flat looking. And I really like it. I think it ties into the white in the top a lot, and it just adds so much detail to it, and I love it. Alright, this was my final upcycle for this video, so that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed kind of seeing what I did with garments that I had previously thrifted. I had a lot of fun making it, and I just love doing that because I think it's such an easy way to get practice for sewing. And if you find something at a thrift store that you think is really cute fabric, like this, but you think it's an awful garment, get it and try something different. See what you can do with it, because it's just a great opportunity to be creative. So thanks so much for watching. I will definitely be doing another video like this because I still have a pile of thrifted stuff that I did not get to. So I hope to see you back for that. Have a great rest of your day.